I like cheap tools, the same as anybody else, and behind me here we have my Harbor Freight blast cabinet. Some say, oh, Harbor Freight's a piece of crap. You know what? It's a blasting cabinet. It's sheet metal. How can you go wrong? The only thing that might be bad is maybe the little blasting tool, or maybe the actual gloves. Now I did discover that the light, which was in there, just didn't do the job. It wasn't bright enough. It worked. It was serviceable. Just wasn't bright enough for my taste. So what I did was I installed a Harbor Freight drop light, just like this guy, up inside there. And I wired it through the existing switch that came with it. Now the switch that came with it had 12 volts DC going through it, but it was an AC rated switch. That's usually very bad for the contacts. Usually they don't last very long when you run DC through an AC switch. But as a result, we wound up with a much, much brighter box. On the converse, it does produce a little bit of heat. And up here in this area, usually it gets a little hot, but it doesn't like burn the paint or anything ridiculous. As you see, I did put a little bit of caulk around here because I did have a little bit of a problem with dust that would shake itself through and came out around the edges. What you see on here, this isn't dust, this is actually baby powder. This is my only real complaint about this unit, is that these gloves, they're just not big enough for my hands. And in order for me to get them on and off, I have to powder the crap out of them. Because otherwise, when I start to get sticky and I force these gloves on, they just will not come off of my hands. So I baby powder the heck out of them, and I put them in there. Off the side, I run a little hose, because I have a little shop vac, not a big one. And you may say, oh, you need a big shop vac to move enough air volume to draw all the dust out. No, you don't. My little shop vac actually does a really good job. In fact, it sucks the sides of the case in, and it blows the gloves up like balloons when I run it. And of course I run the hose all the way out the garage door, and I run it down into the front yard, and I run the shop vac over there, and I put a little bit of water in the bottom of it. In fact, there it is. A little bit of water in the bottom of it to catch whatever residual dust that it's got. And that does an excellent job, excellent job. And some of the things that I've blasted were SV650 rear sets. These guys are all covered in just red paint. If you remember watching the SV650 in the past, the restore job that I did on it. Well, since riding with a passenger, I redid these and got all the nastiness off of it. I might just paint them black, or maybe just leave them alone. We'll see. But there's a little bit of paint on there that I missed, so I'll be blasting them one more time. Inside of there right now I have a couple of Volkswagen hood hinges. There's a hood hinge. That's what this is here with the springs on it. Got another one. These need blasting before they get painted. And there's a couple other little pipes and other things in here that need to be taken care of. I like to fill the box with all the things that need to be blasted, and I run it all at one time. Because the only problem that I really have with using the box is that, for me, being as tall as I am, I find myself hunched over like this an awful lot, and that gives me a severe creak in the neck. Hurts like hell after a few minutes of that, so I try to run the box all at once. I don't like to go on it and then off of it, on and off. I just stay on the box, run the damn thing, blast everything in 20-30 minutes, be done with it, and shut everything down. I imagine that might also limit myself to dust exposure, for whatever I got. I mean, I seem to have taken the proper precautions with sucking everything out of here. I never find any dust here in the room at all. I did have a little bit of a sand leak, which was in the corner. It was dumping sand out over here. In fact, still a little bit left from when I fixed that. What I did was I ran caulk all through the inside along the edges here. And I did the same all the way in the back side because the corners would leak. It wouldn't leak dust, but actually they would just dump sand. So if any of the sand would build up in the corners in little piles like you see right there. What happens is it would actually dump through the gaps and then pour out down below. And it would just make a mess here on the floor. The unit is excellent. The unit is excellent. I do run some play sand in it. People say, oh, you're going to get lung cancer. Oh. You know what's in the box? None of the dust is here in the garage. Everything is drawn out via the vacuum, and does an excellent job of throwing everything out into the yard and let the neighbors worry about it. But with the water in the bottom of it, it seems to capture just about all of it anyway, so I think it's something that we really don't need to worry about. But I'm rather pleased with it. It's the Harbor Freight 40-pound capacity floor blast cabinet. And that's what it is. I don't see a model number anywhere, but I will say that it certainly does the job. And if you're going to run it, come around here and bang that door before you open it, because it will build up with all kinds of sand and debris and anything that you sandblasted in the door. And when you open it, it dumps on the floor. And that's just a real pain in the ass. But if you give it a good beating before you open it, and in fact if you take the cap and you cap off the air intake, as you start to open this slowly, it'll draw any of the dust that tries to fall out into the box. So you'll end up with absolutely no mess on the floor whatsoever. So I'm happy with it. Hoses are a little cheap. Down the road I'll probably wind up replacing them the next time they blow out, and they've blown out enough times. But otherwise, it works good. I got it on sale, and it had a 25% off coupon, so I think I bought the whole thing for about 150 bucks. You really can't go wrong with that. Really, you can't. I'm happy with it. I even set up a cup holder. It's nice to have a drink while I'm blasting. And down the road, I'll probably install an electrical outlet on the side here, this switch activated, so that way I can turn on the shop vac via the extension cord. So when I shut this off, that shop vac goes off. I don't have to go run and go find the thing and take care of it. I can actually activate everything via the switch. So I'll be setting that up down the road. The drop light that's in there also has an extension on it, an outlet. And I don't know if that will come in handy, but we'll see. Down the road, it may be running an angle grinder or something inside of the box. That might be nice if I'm going to make a big dusty mess. I can use the box for a different purpose. Yeah, it might contaminate the sand, but when it comes down to it, it just might be more useful going that route. But we'll see. Maybe it'll never happen.